A lot goes on the Mendocino Coast. Here are some short stories, all from the same day. April 30, 2026. I was standing above the beach watching the afternoon swell roll in when a line of pelicans came gliding through, low and steady. They weren't flapping, not working for it, just riding the updrafts that lift off the face of each wave. Birds know exactly where that invisible edge is, a spot where the ocean does half the work for them. They drop in tight to the water, skim the surface, then rise with the next swell like they were reading the coastline in braille. No drama, no showmanship, just a species that's been doing this longer than we've been here to point cameras at it. If you've ever wondered how close they get or how they manage to hold formation in that wind, watch the wings. They make tiny corrections, barely noticeable unless you're looking for them. The rest is just instinct and a few million years of practice. April 30, 2026. I took a walk down to the beach early this morning. One of those quiet Fort Bragg mornings where the air is cool, the light is soft, and the ocean is already putting on a show whether anyone's watching or not. I'd heard a whale had washed up overnight, so I followed the short trail down, not really sure what I'd find. The day itself was beautiful. Blue sky, clean horizon, that steady Mendocino Coast rhythm rolling in. And then the shift. Just above the waveline, there she was, a female gray whale, older juvenile, lying still on the sand. No drama, no crowd, just that heavy kind of silence that settles in when the ocean gives back something that it shouldn't have. On the way down, I'd run into Sarah Grimes, the stranding coordinator for the Noyo Center for Marine Science. She told me the researchers had already been out early and taken tissue samples. The tide was coming in fast, so the full necropsy had to wait until this afternoon, assuming she doesn't wash back out on the high tide. Sarah didn't think that was likely. So the ocean kept doing what it does, spectacular as always, and the whale stayed where she was, caught between tides. A beautiful morning with a sad moment laid right across the middle of it. That's the coast. It doesn't hide anything. April 30, 2026. I started the day on the beach. A beautiful morning on the Mendocino Coast. As I walked back towards my car, I passed a bluff and caught a bit of motion in the grass. A whimbrel, then another. Then suddenly it wasn't "where's whimbrel" anymore. It was two, then five, then a whole scattered bunch tucked into the glossy bluff. Almost impossible to see until they moved. Then later, on the beach, two whimbrels were working the tide line this morning, doing that slow, deliberate walk they do. Long legs, long bills, acting like they're not paying attention to each other while absolutely paying attention to each other. One would probe the sand, the other would sidestep closer. Then a little wing flutter, a soft call, and the whole thing turned to quite a bit of shorebird flirting. Nothing dramatic, just two whimbrels pretending the ocean wasn't watching. Two whimbrels on the beach showing off, and a whole hidden crowd up on the bluff pretending they weren't there at all. Classic Mendocino Coast morning. April 30, 2026, on a flat rock on the Mendocino Coast. Pupping season is underway on the Mendocino Coast, and the flat rock just north of town was crowded today with expectant harbor seal mothers and a handful of new pups already settled in beside them. I stayed well back, far enough not to disturb the colony, and let the camera do the work from a respectful distance. Even from afar you can see the rhythm of the season. Several females are still waiting to give birth, resting high and round on the rocks, conserving energy. Others already have pups tucked against their sides, the newborns small, pale, and still figuring out their flippers. Harbor seal pups can swim almost immediately, but they rely on their mothers for nursing and protection during the first 4 to 6 weeks. The pair usually stays close, often touching, and the mothers keep a sharp eye on the surf and on each other. The seal in the opening segment looked so plump she could barely get herself off the sand and up onto the rock, a classic late pregnancy waddle. Harbor seals don't have the long foreflippers that sea lions use for climbing, so hauling out takes timing, patience, and a bit of determination. Late in pregnancy, it takes even more. Pupping season here typically runs from late March through May, with the peak in April. The mothers return to the same haul-out spots year after year, choosing flat, quiet rocks where they can rest, nurse, and keep their pups out of the heavy surf. It's a calm, low-drama process and less disturbed, which is why distance matters. Too much noise or movement can cause a mother to slip back into the water and separate from her pup. Today the colony was settled. The ocean was gentle, and the rock was doing exactly what it's done for generations, giving the next wave of Mendocino Coast harbor seals a safe place to begin. April 30, 2026. It's pupping season for harbor seals. A very plump female harbor seal was resting on the sand near the flat rock on the Mendocino Coast today. I watched her for a while, trying to figure out if she was all right or just so full of pup that she couldn't quite make it to the water and up onto the rocks. After a bit, she shifted and moved, and I felt better knowing she was okay. Unfortunately, the moment didn't end well. An off-leash dog wandered into the area, and she pulled him for safety. A reminder that during harbor seal pupping season in Fort Bragg, California, keeping dogs leashed protects these mothers who are already working hard to rest, haul out, and care for their pups. Fort Bragg, straight and simple. This one's been a bit of a collage, a handful of moments from one long day on the Mendocino Coast. I hope you enjoyed the ride. Thank you to all my current subscribers. You're the reason this channel keeps moving forward, and if you're new here, you can join the fun by clicking on my picture at the end of the video. It's free, it helps the channel, and it keeps these coastal adventures coming. I'll see you on the next one.